Hi guys, welcome to another episode of The Aspiring Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Hamza Chowdhury. Welcome back to the channel. In this episode, I'd like to go over the price action of the Apple stock. Now that the iPhone event's been over for about a week, we've seen a lot of volatility, a lot of excitement regarding the stock, and I just wanted to go over the recent action and what we can expect moving forward. In return, I just ask a favor of you. If you do like the video, please hit the like and subscribe button. We are a 100% free content channel, so anything you could do to help support the channel and help share it with other friends and family would be appreciated. With that said, let's just jump right into it. So this is my TradingView platform. If you're interested in joining TradingView, it's absolutely free. You can see the link down below. And so what we're going to do is go over the Apple recent price action. And what we've noticed is, a couple weeks ago leading into that iPhone event, we had this breakout where Apple was trading in sort of a consolidation range. We had talked about our 112.60. If you want to check out my previous videos, we solidified the support at 112.60. And we had this breakout sort of late Friday, anticipating the event, which was last Tuesday. And going into the event, we had this massive price action. And the day of the event at opening, we talked about how we had essentially a pump and dump. And the event literally had sold off $5 in the first couple minutes of trading. And since then, we sort of been downtrending. And a lot of people are wondering, okay, look, I just bought the stock up here in the 120s, and now we're below the 120s. And one of the things I wanted to go over in this video is to just a general market. A lot of times, and there's a lot of YouTubers out there, a lot of people who are like, oh, this support's failed, or this resistance has failed. Guys, support and resistance there to help us understand the price action and where we think the stock's going to go. Obviously, we know that previous resistance can be additional supports, but we should also understand part of the volatility now that the iPhone event's over. A lot of this volatility isn't necessarily just because of the stock. It's also because of just the market in general, right? If the market sells off like it did in March because people are afraid of the pandemic, they're afraid of the future, what do they want to do? They want to cash out their positions. They want to let the election be over. And I did a video just the other day about, trading, during the election season. And this is no different. So what I hear people say, like, well, now that this resistance is broken and now it's again resistance, that doesn't make sense. So to kind of illustrate this, here's a 1-minute chart today of Apple, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to overlay the SPY. Okay, so the SPY is the S&P 500. It's simply an overlay of how all the stocks in the S&P did as an ETF. So if I overlay that, and that's actually highlighted here in white. Okay, so you have the candles here in red and green, and then you have the SPY. So you can see that if you look at the way Apple trades, you can see that when the SPY tanks or sells off, so does Apple. When the SPY is getting bought up, and again, this is the ETF, so as people are buying it up, you can see Apple rises, right? So if the index itself is being sold off and bought, and Apple's following that trend, right? If the market itself is selling off, that doesn't necessarily mean that Apple is going to follow just supports and resistance only. We have to look at the whole market in general. So a lot of people are wondering, well, I thought this was support. Why is it broken? Guys, we've been having the stimulus volatility now for weeks. I mean, you can recall it wasn't more than I think 2 weeks ago where the president tweeted out that there would be no stimulus deal until after the election. And what did the markets do? They tanked. Now, when they tanked, yes, they tanked to an area that we sort of anticipated. I think it was right back here at the 112.60s right here. It was the day, I believe it was October 6th, right? So it can tank to a value that we expect to support, but the market selling off doesn't mean that there's something wrong with the stock, right? So a lot of times what you'll see is, like we saw today, the volatility, there's no stimulus, the market sells off. There's hopes of a stimulus by the end of the day because Nancy Pelosi says so. Then the stocks get bought up again. So this is the volatility we talked about. So I don't want people to think that, hey, why is Apple selling off? It's just following the index of what the other stocks are doing, and that's the thing is we saw, and I'll discuss in the Tesla video coming up, the same thing. We saw a technical breakout, right? So when all the stocks were selling off, we saw Tesla break out on a day that stocks were selling off. So we have to understand the difference between technical breakouts and just know that just because an index is a stock is doing terrible doesn't necessarily mean it's just about support and resistance. There are other factors like the news. And so like today, for example, if you looked at the article that came out about 10 hours ago, right, it says stocks pump up on stimulus hopes. So as long as we keep having this sort of conversation, we're going to see this volatility, which again, if you're a dip buyer, plenty of opportunities to dip buy. So, with that said, guys, I expect Apple, again, we're selling more iPhones than we had in many years. There's a lot of excitement around it. There's a lot of, it's hard to keep up with the demand. So I expect this thing, as before, as this Bollinger Band is widening up from this channel, as we're trading up on the upper half of the band, so you can see this, anything above the dotted line, which is the 20-day simply moving average, right? As this is uptrending and we're trading between the top band and the middle band, we're still bullish on the stocks. There's nothing here that is concerning. It's just that we're having these sell-offs. Again, nothing to do really with the stock. It has to do with the overall market, the overall sentiment of investors and people, right? They feel safer having cash than having their money currently in the stock. So as they sell it off, we get these massive movements in price, fluctuations. So nothing to really worry about. But I've been just hearing crazy, stories about Apple's going to fill in a gap in like the 90s, and that it's selling off, and just all these sort of crazy stories. Guys, we've already done the consolidation. We've already hit these bottoms. We're uptrending, and we're resuming the bullish direction that we had previously. Today, they just got a price target raise of $150. So, I mean, if, the analysts, again, take them for what they are. If, they're giving price target raises, and these are, I believe it was, who was it? I can't remember who who it was that actually did the price target. But in any case, guys, just try to trade off the news, and follow the S&P, have that open so you can compare it as you're trading, and use that as a tool to your benefit. Okay, guys, I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions or comments, again, with anything that I have to say or in stocks in general, just add a comment below. I'd be happy. Always answer all the comments below. Okay, all right, guys, take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.